Welcome everybody to the 4th edition of Tula Yoga Talks. And today I have our dearest Irene Lomer with us. And she's going to talk a little bit about what yoga means to her and about a workshop for beginners that she is teaching soon at Tula. But first of all, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
And I would like to ask you, how did yoga come into your life?
Yeah. Well, actually, I came across yoga from suffering from an injury. I had a knee injury and was looking for something to kind of help my injury, and also some sort of activity that I could do still, since I couldn't do running or play many sports or something. And then I sort of came across yoga from that way.
I have this feeling that most people get into yoga via something physical that happens to them. Is that also what you find out in your classes?
Yeah, often. I mean, sometimes it can also be if you have an injury or something, the doctor might even suggest, hey, go and take a yoga class, try and see whether it helps you. Of course, you can't say that yoga will cure every injury or something, but the nice thing is that you can work quite well with an injury and still be able to do many parts of yoga.
The benefits in your mind and in your psychological stability usually come as a plus, like as
I mean, that I remember from my first ever yoga class just coming out feeling so calm that I've not felt that calm before, and it was that almost gave this feeling of, hey, I want to get that feeling again.
It's okay.
So then you go back, and then you're kind of when you haven't experienced relaxation at that level, you're wanting to feel it again. Yeah.
So you are teaching a workshop for beginners soon.
Yeah. Every month we'll be having beginners workshops, so there will be, I myself will give one every 2 months in Asana Lab, and then the alternate month there will be at Vesta Park workshops with Ramella. So
for the ones who don't know, Tula has 2 locations.
Yeah.
First one is Vesta Park. That's the one that opened first, and second one is in Asana, so you can choose between the 2.
Yeah, exactly. So every month there will be these workshops. We already were doing them also earlier in the year, and it was a really nice way for those not only that are beginning with yoga and want to learn more and see whether it's for them, but also those that perhaps have done some yoga but want to just really understand the basics and take a bit more time of things in a class where you can't sort of have the time to cover it. Then in the workshop we'll typically show, talk, understand. We will have a chance to ask questions and a bit really of the practical technique. So then when you join the class you feel confident that you already know the basics. I hear a lot from students when they're just beginning is they're a bit overwhelmed by how many different styles of yoga there are and what to pick, and that's also something in the workshop. We cover a bit of all the different styles that Tula is offering, and we'll do a little taste also of different styles so people can see a bit what they like. Also we will have a bit of discussion, hey, what is your intention, what do you want to get out of yoga, and that can often also guide you to knowing, okay, maybe this style is something for you. So that's been also kind of a nice thing that you can get a taste, and then you have a bit better direction as to which style might be for you, or which styles. Yeah.
And what would you say to those people who argue, hey, I'm not flexible, yoga is not for me? I'm not a fit person, so yoga is not for me.
This I hear really a lot. Doing yoga is about connecting with yourself and finding something also for yourself in the practice, whether that is something physical that you do want to get more flexible. You'll notice if you go several times to yoga, you will be a lot more flexible than you were beforehand. So It's kind of like this chicken and the egg. If you don't start one, then the other won't come. But one thing I do really like also about Tula is that the classes tend to be small and generally also quite mixed abilities in the class. So whenever it's very common whenever there's new students, they don't feel alone, but at the same time they have a few people in the class they can sort of see as role models and look around if they're not sure of what they should be doing. So that's what I think makes quite a nice open environment for people that are new and maybe unsure of whether they should start. Yeah.
Here I have this feeling that yoga is really for everybody.
Yes.
It's also one of our main core principles. And finally, I would like to ask you about your favorite yoga principle.
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite things, and I think it's my favorite because I see this application happening everywhere, is about the balance between flexibility and strength. And this is something that you can sort of see very, of course, in an obvious sense if you try to do yoga. So you'll see maybe people's tendency of how their body is built, depending on perhaps what they've done before, or just how they're naturally built. People tend to be perhaps slightly more flexible, but really struggle to have strength, or the opposite way around, where people tend to be less flexible but more strong and sturdy. And for those people, they're kind of needing a bit more of the opposite effect, and it's all about trying to find a physical balance where you kind of balance the strength and flexibility. So from sort of physically doing yoga, I find this really important to have a healthy and body that feels also injury-free. You feel good, you feel really sort of the best form and version of yourself. But I think it also goes further to also, you can see it also on a mental level, for example, that perhaps you might have a tendency to be a bit too flexible and around other people, where sometimes you could do with sometimes standing your ground, or other people might feel, okay, I have a bit more the tendency to dominate and be a bit too strong mentally, also in social situations, and how to kind of manage this. And I do think that from doing the yoga, that can also apply more to these other situations as well. And it's always also a constant balance to be able to sort of find between them. So it's always for me an interesting topic. Yeah. And one of the things why I think also yoga is so exciting, because everyone's different, of course, we know that, but everyone's also got their own, they bring their own sort of advantages and their own sort of talents, you could say, and each of those can be different, and that kind of finding the balance of how to use that, but then also balance the things that are less good is important. Yeah.
Wow, I feel that you have just defined yoga. Yeah, thank you. This is very, very enlightening, I feel.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much, Irene, for being here with us. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned. Check out the workshops, the dates, everything will be linked down below. And see you in the next video.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Doei.